Hello, everyone. Welcome to Forward in Faith Ministries. I am Pastor Lachelle, and I'm going to be bringing forth the word for you today. And today we're going to be talking about don't get distracted by the competition. Sometimes we look at distraction and we say, oh, I'm not really distracted, but do you really know what a distraction is? A distraction is something that prevents you from giving your full attention to what you've been assigned to do, called to do, and have to do. But it can keep you in a spirit of disobedience because obedience is what is required to defeat the distraction. Obedience is a compliance to an order or an authority. God wants our obedience in this season. And the more that we are distracted, the more that we are not honoring God with what He has called us to do. Sometimes we have been in situations where you see someone that you love or they're laying with something, but there's a competition in that. And you thought it was different, and then the distraction came to expose it all. Sometimes we got to recognize that what the situation is that really someone needing help from us, or are we being distracted from what we've been called to do? In this season, make sure that your obedience to what you've been called to do, what God is asking you to do, is there. And it's not for anybody else, but it is for you. He gave you the assignment, and He gave you the assignment because He knew you can fulfill it. Don't be distracted by the competition because other people will try to come up against you. Some people will try to offer advice because they've done it before. And some people will even say, well, I've done that before. And then next thing you know, they're trying to take your idea and they're pushing it forward. But be in complete obedience and submission to what God has called you to do. It's not about the competition. It's about ensuring that you are in full alignment with what God is calling you to. You ever seen someone praying for you and then they're really not praying for you? They're praying for your downfall because they realize that you are chosen. They realize that you're the chosen one. They see that all that they were doing was going to get them what they wanted from you. So we got to be careful of the people that we have in and around us, because what'll happen is they'll see you doing something and what God has called you to do, and then they'll try to turn it around and make you serve them. Be careful of the secret competition. Be careful of the people that want you to stop doing what you're supposed to do. Your willingness and obedience to God is what is going to get you where He has to take you. Understand and realize that everyone who prays for you is not praying for you. They could be praying on you. Preying. They're praying on you because they know what's on the inside of you. They're praying on you because they know what you're going to complete. They're praying on you because you know the promise of God and where that promise is taking you. They're praying on you because God chose you to do a certain thing. Don't get distracted by the competition. Recognize your anointing. Recognize who God has called you to. Recognize who God is calling you to be amongst. And don't get distracted by the competition. A lot of people want to be in a race with you, and it's not the race to complete to the end. It's a race to ensure that you do and complete everything He's called you to do. A lot of things that we start, we don't always see the end. He shows us the vision, but we don't always see the end because we get distracted. We get pulled away. We get caught up in somebody else's situation. This is not the season for us to do that. This is the season for us to stay in obedience, stay in alignment, stay in the authority of what God has called you to. Let's go to the Word of God. We're going to go to Luke chapter 10, verse 38 and 42. Luke chapter 10, 38 and 42. And I'll read it. Now it happened as they went that He entered a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha welcomed Him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, who also sat at Jesus' feet and heard His word. But Martha was distracted with much serving as she approached Him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Therefore tell her to help me. And Jesus answered and said to her, Martha, Martha, you are worried and troubled about many things, but one thing is needed, and Mary has chosen that good part, which will not be taken away from her. See, Mary understood the assignment. Martha was distracted with serving. We have to be willing to sit at His feet and get in His word and hear His word and do His word. not prepare the table settings. So many people are caught up in serving and preparing and making sure everything looks nice. That's the distraction. It's not what it looks like. It's, are you in a position of obedience and submission so you can hear what he is saying? You hear what he is calling you to do. Don't get caught up in the serving and the people. Get caught up in him. Get caught up in what he's called you to in this season. His word says he prepared the table in the presence of our enemies in Psalms 23:5. So you have to understand that he has everything laid out and planned out for you not to be taken over, not for you to go under. He has placed you in a position where you don't have to worry about the competition. Just get at his feet. Don't allow the distractions of this world, of everything that's happening in your life right now, to take you to a place where you cannot hear him. You are not in his presence. You got to be submissive in this season. Stop worrying about the preparations and focus on the one thing, and that's the good part. He's the good part. Don't focus on what other people may think. Don't focus on what other people may have. Don't focus on who's coming, who's not coming. Don't focus on anything other than being the good part, the part where we are at his feet, the part where we know that this is where we need to be. It's not about serving. We have a heart of service. But right now, you can't be distracted by the competition. Martha wanted to be worried about everything else, serving alone, making sure everything was in order. That she was a distraction. And so what she was doing was a distraction. But Mary didn't let that bother her. Mary didn't get caught up in that. We can't get caught up in everybody else's stuff. We can't get caught up in everybody else's thing. We can't get caught up in everybody else's preparations. Preparations are the things that are the heart of man, but the word, the answer comes from the Lord. So we got to make sure that we understand that even though we may have a preparation in our heart, is that what the Lord is saying? That's in Proverbs 16:1. You got to make sure that you are hearing from God. He has the answer. He has the final say. And you're not concerned about what is happening and what is going on around you. The distraction is there. And you can't be distracted or worry about the competition. You can't worry about people who want to see you falsely succeed. You know, those people that, oh, I'm here for you. And then next thing you know, they got you doing something else. Can you help me? Oh, I need you. I need this. I need that. You can't get distracted and you can't worry about the competition. It doesn't matter. Just get at his feet and get an understanding. We want to be that good part that he's saying. Stop worrying about it. We can't complain to God because people are not doing what we want because that is not their good part, right? We got to make sure that we're the good part of this word. We have to be like Mary and make sure that we choose the good part. And what is that good part? Is being where he is, being in his word, being at his feet, keeping him in his presence. You cannot be a good part thinking bad things and being distracted by the competition, being distracted by everybody else. You sit down and you try to get in his presence and somebody calls you and then you've walked away. You've walked away from everything he wanted to get in you, through you, and that time that he wanted to talk to you. Right? So we can't allow that to happen to us. Mary understood. We all have a past. We all have situations that we have gone through. But we can't allow that and those issues of the past distract us from where he's going. Some of us may not feel like that we can get to that place, that we have an understanding of that place or where we're going, because we feel sometimes that we aren't qualified. Listen, your mind will take you out of the race. Your mind will take you out of the race, but that's why you have to be with him. It's not worry about serving. It's about being in his presence, right? And it said, and she had a sister named Mary who also sat at Jesus's feet and heard his word. We have to listen for his word. We have to sit at his feet. That's how we block out all the distractions and all the competition. That's how we get a better understanding so we don't perish. That's how we overcome the thoughts of our past. This is how we get that word that he's trying to get to us, in us, and through us, is sitting at his feet and not worry about the preparations of life or what's happening. Don't worry about my serving because I sat at his feet. That's what you're going to be saying. That's what's getting ready to come for you. Don't worry about who I'm serving. Don't worry about why I'm serving. Don't worry about my serving. Why? Because I chose to sit at his feet. I chose to hear him. I chose to wait on the answer. I chose to get before him in a place where I didn't want to be distracted anymore. I don't care what nobody else has going on. I don't care what is happening. This is what he's called me to. This is what he's called me to do. But I won't get a clear understanding unless I'm sitting at his feet. Everybody wants to get us in a position and in a place where we're doing for them. I don't want to do anything, go anywhere, say anything unless it comes directly from him. Unless we are in alignment of what he has for us. And Martha was so distracted with much serving, she approached him and said, Lord, do you see she left me here alone to serve? She was upset. Why? Because she wanted service to her. See, secretly, your family could be in competition with you and they put their issues on you for you to fix it for them. And then they want to say, oh, look what I did. Look what everything. You got to be careful who is in your camp and in secret competition with you. It could be your family, friend, or foe. And you got to be careful who you call friend nowadays. Some people are just in your life for you to do things for them. And then next thing you know, you wake up 5-10 years from now and you've done everything for everybody else. And then your ideas are gone. What he had for you is gone because you done shared it. You done gave. You was distracted by the competition. You was distracted by your Martha. You was distracted by everything that came into your life. Stop being so busy over nothing. Then you want to get mad at somebody else because you got distracted, but they serve a different way now. That's because they've been praying for your downfall, right? And then you just so caught up, I got to help, I got to help, I got to help. You've always been their answer. You've always been their scapegoat. You've always been the person to pull them out. And God is just asking you right now to not be distracted in this season. I need you at my feet. I need you to have a better understanding for what I'm saying to you. Let's read it again. Now it happened as they went that he entered a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. Martha was at the door. She welcomed Jesus in. So you welcome him in, and then you upset because Mary went to sit at his feet. She chose the good part. And she had a sister called Mary who also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. Are you hearing his word? Are you sitting with him long enough so you can hear what he's saying to you? Or are you just, I got to get this done. I got to get that done. I got to be here. I got to be there. Don't get so caught up in your life that you're distracted. Don't get so caught up in your to-do list that you're distracted to spend time with God and you don't hear his word. Don't get so caught up. Verse 40, it said, but Martha was distracted with much serving, and she approached him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? She was worried about all the wrong things. She was worried about everything that you can see physically. She was worried about everything that you can see with your natural eye. And Mary was more concerned about the things of the Spirit. What are you focused on? What are you focused on? Are you more focused on the fleshly things, the things that you can see, that you forget to sit at his feet, that you forget the real basis of what this is? You can't be distracted that you don't spend time with him to get the understanding and the word that he's calling you to. You can't get so distracted that you miss the good part. Don't get so caught up in the wrong things, because sometimes the wrong things make us feel good in that moment. That's another distraction. And then next thing you know, everything you wanted to achieve, you done help somebody achieve your goal in their life. You've helped somebody give them idea because you spoke it. Now they done took your idea, they done ran with it. And now they've achieved all the things that you wanted to. You told them and you helped them. You were distracted by the competition. You were distracted and thought, oh, I'm going to help them. This is going to be great. But you helped them live their whole life. You served them. You were distracted by the competition where you served them, and now they have everything that you talked about. They have everything that God had showed you at one point in time. And you just decided to talk about it and give it and help them perform it because you were distracted by the competition, but you didn't want to see them as a competition because, oh, this is my friend, this is my family, this is my girl, this is my friend. Understand that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So look at it more as a competition if you don't want to look at it for the real thing of what it is. We have to make sure that we are in alignment and we are in the understanding that Mary had. Why? Because Mary understood, right? Messed up in the middle, but I'm going to sit at his feet and read this word and listen to his teaching because I want to go the distance. I want to make sure I get it right this time. I want to make sure that I am obedient to what he has called me to. I want to make sure that I'm a faithful steward. I want to make sure that I'm in the divine connections and with the right people at the right time. I want to make sure because of distraction, I've been distracted for too many years. I've been distracted for so long. I thought this was real and it wasn't. It was just keeping me away from what he has called me to do. So now that we're in this place, in this dispensation time, we got to make sure that we really, 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 really are focused on what he's called us to. And we're sitting at his feet and we have a better understanding why that one good thing, it was needed. We got it right. And now everything and everybody that was keeping you distracted as a competition is being exposed. There's going to be an exposure of what people were in your life, of what they were trying to do. Why? Because you're going to sit at his feet and he's going to talk to you ever so sweetly, but he's going to show you things. And then you're going to recognize and realize, yeah, I was distracted. It looked good, it felt good, but it wasn't it wasn't the good part. Right? We think that, oh, people being nice, that's what they're supposed to do. But because we're so used to toxicity and things being negative all the time, we think that's what's normal is significant. It's normal. But being so distracted, now God is putting us in a place where we have a better understanding. He's putting us in a place where we're getting it right now. He's putting us in a place where the distractions don't matter. The competition doesn't matter. Why? Because we are the good part, because we're sitting at his feet. Don't worry about if I heard from the Lord because I sat and listened to his teachings. Some of us need to sit so we can say that. I got it right now. I'm sitting at his feet. Don't worry about praying for me because my focus is off of you. My focus is on him. Don't worry about my obedience because he said that one good part I chose and it will never be taken from me. And that's what he said in verse 42. But one thing is needed, and Mary has chosen that good part, which will never be taken away from her. It will never be taken away this time. It will never be taken away from you. Some of us live in a distraction of rejection. And we fear rejection. But God is saying, choose the good part. It'll never be taken away. It'll never be taken away. That good part that you're choosing, that time to spend with him, listening to his word and seeking him, it'll never be taken away. You can serve all the people in your life. You can serve everybody in your family, all your friends. You can serve the whole entire community. But it won't be the good part. You'll have good times. But that good part that'll never be taken from you is with him. It'll never be taken. Just like it was never taken away from Mary, it'll never be taken away. I'm not worried about you or how you think I should help you because being distracted keeps me from him. Being distracted keeps me from that good part. I'm not worried about what you have to say about me because I chose Jesus over you and what you want. I'm not worried about it anymore. I choose the good part because this good part is never going to be taken away from me. And then as you choose the good part, watch good things happen to you. Good people come into your life because you're no longer distracted. The enemy will keep you distracted with so many things because he knows what's on the inside. But if he can keep you distracted, he'll keep you disobedient. But once you get focused, once you remain obedient, and once you choose the good part and never take it, God will allow so many things just to unfold and manifest in your life because you chose obedience versus being distracted. It's all about what we choose to serve. I choose to sit at his feet, just like Mary did, because I need to get a better understanding and a revelation. I'm not worried about it anymore. I'm not distracted, and I don't care about the competition. I want to be right in that good part. And now that I know I can face it and know that it's never going to be taken away from me, I no longer am concerned about who rejects me, because the good part that I have will never be taken away from me. So don't live in that spirit anymore. Don't live in that fear anymore. Don't live in that anxiety. Don't live in that distraction anymore, because it's just keeping you away from what God has. Don't worry about getting ready for the company. Get ready for the kingdom. You can have all the beautiful cutlery and charcuterie boards and all those nice things. You can have the most beautiful home. You can have the most beautiful car. You can have the most beautiful life. You can have the most beautiful aesthetics. But if you don't have that one good part, all of that is just a distraction, because none of those things can make you whole. None of those things can complete you. None of those things can satisfy you. It's a simple satisfaction, a fleshly satisfaction. It's only temporary. But just know that that one good part, it'll never be taken away. Don't worry about the setup. I'm getting ready to sit down at his feet. I need a word from the Lord, and I'm not worried about it anymore. I'm not worried about the distractions or the competition. Don't get ready for company. Get ready for kingdom. I'm Pastor Lachelle, Forward in Faith Ministries, and we thank you for coming and tuning in with us today. Until next time, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.